Hey everyone, Kathy the Vegan Prepper here to talk to all of you about my very deeply personal weight loss journey, which I don't want to talk about, quite frankly. I don't, this is not something that I'm comfortable talking about with pretty much anyone on this earth except for my husband, Mr. Vegan Prepper. So we had a video where we talked about why we are not prepping for the end of the world. And that was kind of our funny tongue-in-cheek way of saying that not every single prepper out there or every single prep has to be about some gigantic end of the world scenario. I think a lot of people who normally would prep at least a little bit are kind of turned off by the idea of preppers being kind of crazy and a little out there because they are prepping for kind of really unlikely scenarios, unlikely events, and things like that. And so for us, prepping is about kind of more immediate concerns. And then also it's about creating kind of an open space and an open forum to talk about how to get started. And so in that video, we very clearly were stating, that our goal is first to get a very good 2-week supply, which we already have. And then once you learn how to do a 2-week supply, you can multiply that out now into a 3-month supply. And then once you have a 3-month supply, it becomes so much easier to kind of move forward just by the process of multiplication, build a 1-year supply. And so that's kind of our current end goal, is a 1-year supply. We are very clear about that. But also during the video, we talked about how important it is for us to focus on fitness. And for my husband, that is training for a marathon. For me, personally, it's weight loss at this point in my life. And so we got some interesting comments on that video already, which I think is kind of hilarious because it has maybe like 30 views, like really like almost nobody has watched it. And yet we've already got 2 people, a few people like commenting and making interesting comments. And so I don't want to assume a bad thing about anybody, but one of the comments was like it came across as derogatory. Even though I try not to assume, maybe this person was just sort of making a joke, but it was like, the good thing about a 2-week supply in an 8-week disaster is that you can achieve that size 6 you've always wanted. And I just thought that was kind of funny, like, for one, because we were never saying that 2 weeks is all that you need to prepare. It was just like, that's a starting point that is not quite so overwhelming. Because if you were to tell me that I had to try to figure out how to plan a 1-year supply, like right now, well, before I had done the 2-week supply, I wouldn't know how to even start. There's so many people that are like, what do I eat? How do I even start? And I would say that that's where you start, with making like a 2-week supply of food. And it's, a lot easier to plan out that kind of small amount of a storage for your food. So that you're not like getting overwhelmed and then it's impossible and then you don't even start, right? So anyway, but I was talking about, wanting to lose weight and being super excited about being about to hit my first goal in my weight loss journey. Okay, just a second. Okay, I'm back. So I was talking about wanting to hit my very first weight loss goal and being really excited about it because basically the second everything went down, quarantine, and COVID really started becoming a huge part of our everyday lives. And then the information began coming out, right? That the people who are dying of COVID, well, for one thing, they tend to be really old. But other than that, they tend to be people who have a lot of pre-existing conditions, especially people who are obese and have high blood pressure, diabetes, and things like that. So I am obese. I am. And it just was kind of an eye-opener for me that I really need to start making sure that I am taking more care with my weight loss. So even though I am vegan and I have been for 3 years, and even that, people have been like, if you're vegan, how are you still fat if you're vegan? It's like, because I eat too much, okay? And I haven't been, exercising enough. And then also for a little over 2 years of this journey, I haven't even slept, okay? Because my daughter hasn't slept through the night consistently until just a few months ago. And even now, she still occasionally wakes up at night. So there's just so many things, and how much that messes with your hormones, I can't even, we can't even estimate how much that has screwed with the hormones. And then the fact that I am nursing, and the fact that makes it, so nursing does technically burn more calories, but it can also make it a lot more difficult for some people to lose weight. And anyway, just going into all that. But basically it boiled down to me kind of eating too much, because I had been paranoid about not getting enough calories, which was kind of where I was when I was pregnant, and I went vegan during my pregnancy for my health. And then when I gave birth, I was actually 35 pounds lighter than I was when I got pregnant, which is not a healthy thing for almost, anybody, unless you are obese when you get pregnant. So I'm definitely not advocating like weight loss during pregnancy for most people, but for me, that's, what happened, because I was, dealing with health issues, and that's a whole, I could do a whole other video of that. And so I actually, when I was like 9 months pregnant, basically, I was 12 pounds lighter. And then once I gave birth, I was about 35 pounds lighter than I was when I first got pregnant. And then I packed on some of that weight, not all of it, but I did pack on a lot more of that. Like in this last 2 years, I've gained some of that back. And then now, like with the whole COVID thing hitting, I wanted to lose more. But for about 4 months, I had just had a block. Like it was not coming off. And then I was dealing with horrific digestive issues that made me unable to exercise. And I don't know if I should get into details on that, but so there were a lot of things that kind of ended up stacking against me. So the reason I'm so happy right now is I've, been to doctors and kind of figured out what's going on and adjusted. I don't know how personal I should get. I don't know how personal I need to get, honestly. I don't think I need to share every little detail of my life. But it was just unfortunate. What can I say? It was not about being vegan. That was not the reason that I had a digestive issue. Sorry, I was about to launch into a whole tangent where it's like literally every single thing that may or may not be wrong with a person who's vegan, veganism is automatically blamed, whereas the opposite is never true. So if a person has, like packed arteries, nobody's blaming their steak or their chicken, or you know what I mean? Anyway, that's a whole other conversation I will not have right now, because as I have said many times, as far as my blood work goes, it's squeaky clean. My blood pressure is beautiful. Last time I got it checked, I was kind of angry. I was stressed in a doctor's office, and it was still 120/78, I believe. So that's actually really good, especially for my size, but especially because I was mad at the time. I don't like doctors. Okay. But anyway, and they don't like me usually. I get angry because there's that's a whole other thing I could get into as well, where obese people and the way that they're treated by the medical establishment is just, that's a whole other thing. Like I'm not going to get into that right now, but yes. So all my numbers are actually really beautiful for my size, but also even not for my size. Like that's like a pretty good reading, even if you're thin. So I'd like for it to be lower. Of course I would. But I have had blood pressure readings that were more like 112/67. I have had that. But anyway, that's again getting too off track. So yeah, a digestive issue that I will say, I had H. pylori, um, years ago for like a whole year and a half, like before they figured out what was wrong with me. And it was just devastating and awful. That was probably one of the worst year and a half. It's just like the worst year and a half of my life, like physically. I can't even express how awful I felt during that time. And the current issues I'm dealing with, I believe, are kind of a byproduct of that, but also because something began and I was under the impression that I was getting a flare up of H. pylori. And so I did some like self-treatment things that have helped in the past. And I believe that that's kind of where I went wrong. I should have gone to a doctor when I was first experiencing symptoms, but I didn't. And so now it's morphed into another thing, but we're taking care of it. So yay. And so yeah, once I'm 100% finished with all of that, then I can share more about that. But for now, that's what I'm willing to say. Anyway, yes, I don't have high blood pressure, don't have diabetes, don't have all of that stuff, but I am still obese and I want to lose weight. I'm tired of basically, I guess it's like almost, it is being vegan and feeling healthy and feeling energetic. I want to be as capable as I feel. And I'm tired of feeling trapped inside of my body. So I'm excited because for like these 4 months, I haven't been able to really lose hardly anything, which has never happened to me before. It's always been in the past because I've always been so overweight. It was like all I had to do was like think about losing weight and I could drop like 10 pounds like nothing, you know? That has not been what's been happening to me. And it's been incredibly frustrating. But when I filmed that video, and you know why we're not prepping for the end of the world, I was so excited because I was only 1 pound away from my first goal. And I guess I don't know, like I said, I don't necessarily want to assume, but it's like, was somebody making fun of a person who wanted to lose weight, or I don't know. And so I understand too that there are a lot of preppers out there who are really extreme, and they are, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Very much not like in their ivory towers. That's like Congress. I mean, like, just like, I don't know, very much like very look down on people, think everybody around them is stupid, right? These are the kinds of people a lot of times who are convinced that everyone on earth is stupid but themselves, or everybody on earth is just ridiculous. And but they're not, of course. They are awesome and everybody else is not. So I don't know, there is a word for that, and I don't know. So it's just like highfalutin, but like as preppers. So and I think that there's a lot of that. I've seen a lot of that, just kind of derisive, is that a word? And anyway, I'm gonna stop trying to figure out the word. I'll probably figure it out after and I'll put it in the description. But so I'm wondering if that's kind of one of those people who's like, because they hear us talking about things like a 2-week supply, they think, oh, we're not serious, or, you know, which is fine. I don't give a crap. Like my veganism video, I've already said, you know, I'm not trying to be in anyone's club. I am myself, but I just felt like I wanted to sort of talk about this weight loss thing, because that's a serious issue and it's something that we should be concerned about, especially if you're at my weight. So I don't want to because like okay, look, I'm embarrassed. I didn't even want to start this channel still being this size. That's like I don't know if some of you have subscribed to me since like way, like you see that I joined YouTube like a really long time ago. I've made like hundreds of videos private, and so this is kind of the restart of my channel, which I did, and I knew what I wanted it to be, which was kind of all about veganism and health and this prepper and like garden stuff and kind of like old-fashioned skills and all of that. And I did not want to start this channel still being this size, and so it was something that I really wrestled with, and I had to just sort of like, really kind of what happened was I sort of had to look at myself like I was looking at someone else, and I had to like encourage myself, because I think sometimes we get caught up in our own minds, and our own issues and our own negative thoughts and these things that we think about ourselves and these things about like limitations that we try to put on ourselves. My kids are yelling in the background. That's another one of the limitations is like, I can't, when am I going to find time to do this? And it's like, you know what? I just have to do it whenever I feel like it. Whatever happens, happens. You know, that's just the way that it goes. But now, are you mad? Did your brother stop you from doing something? Anyway, so sometimes in order to get out of our own heads, I find one of the most helpful tools is to pretend that the thing I'm telling myself instead is something that like somebody else is telling me, like a good friend. So then I'm able to kind of look at myself with a little bit more compassion, and then also with a little sanity, and break out of my own sometimes toxic thoughts and just realize, you know what? I can do this no matter what size I am. I don't have to, you know, be perfect in my own eyes before I can like come out and do something. And gosh, it's entirely possible that people could be encouraged, you know, that somebody who is, say, someone my size could be encouraged seeing somebody their size, you know, making these changes and being healthy. And if there's a, you know, a journey I'm going on and losing weight, which I don't want to talk about because I don't want my whole channel to be about losing weight. And that's the thing that makes me so angry as a person who is extremely overweight. It seems like literally everything in my life is about that, or literally every accomplishment in my life is really weighed against, you know, like no pun intended, it's weighed against how much I weigh. It's kind of like, no matter how much I accomplish, none of it matters because I haven't lost weight yet. And it's like, once you lose weight, oh my gosh, suddenly the skies open up and like, oh wow, everybody's so impressed with you. And it's like, I was impressive before. You know, like, not to be like a snob, not to be, you know, or like proud or anything, but it's like, holy moly, nobody has any idea what my life is like. Like, and the things that I do every day and the things that I accomplish and stuff. And it's like, you know, yeah, I'm like, I am impressive even being overweight. Like, I don't have to lose weight to be worth something, or, you know, so oh gosh, this video is not going the way I wanted it to go. But of course I didn't know how it was gonna go because like I didn't want to talk about it, and oh gosh. So my goal, I will share, because I guess if you're still watching, hopefully, because I'm looking at my time right here, it's 17:49, 17:50. Anyway, if you're still watching, I assume that you care, you know, and so I can share with you maybe because you are still here. And so, yeah, my first goal is 300 pounds. I want to hit 300, or less than 300, I guess. That's my first goal. So it's not silly, and it's not something that it's like I'm trying to hit a size 6 because I'm trying to fit into some dress or something. No, like I'm actually trying to fit into the life that I want for myself is what I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to lose weight and meeting resistance like you would not believe, and still pushing forward after 4 months of being unable to lose like any weight at all. I started at like 312. I should have been able to drop that weight like that, and I wasn't able to. And it was like piece by piece, doctor after doctor, blood tests and all kinds of stuff, trying to figure out what the heck is going on with me so that I could make some progress. And then there was 1 week, should I share it? Sorry. Yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, this is me. This is raw, real me. 1 week, I stepped on the scale because I weigh on Fridays. That's just when I weigh. I step on the scale and I've gained 4 pounds in 1 week. So it was almost certainly water weight, of course. But I mean, like, I lost, I think, 0.8 the week before, and then gained 4 pounds. And it's like, there's not any difference in what I've been doing. And that was the moment when I was just kind of like, you know, forget it. Like, I don't care anymore. Like, not so much I don't care, but it was like, I don't care anymore about this stupid scale. And I just was like, basically, I just threw it up and essentially what I did was I was like, Jesus, that's it. And it was essentially like a Jesus take the wheel moment where I was like, God, clearly I can't do this. You just have to do this for me. Something's going on. You have to take care of it. Because all of my efforts are not doing anything. And that wasn't to say that I was going to stop my efforts. I'm not going to suddenly start eating like garbage, and then expect God to take care of it. But it was like, I just had to stop focusing on that. And so I did. And I just prayed and I spent more time with him. I started joking because like I've been for a while, I've been saying I got to get my dose of daily vitamin J, which is Joel Osteen. I have to go watch a teaching on YouTube of his, when I'm working or doing whatever. So it's my vitamin J every single day. And I did that whole week, just daily vitamin J, and just focusing on God and still doing my thing, but just trusting and being like, you know what, whatever. Again, yeah, Jesus take the wheel, just resting on grace. And then the next time I stepped on the scale, I had lost 2.8. And I was like, because it was the biggest loss I had in that entire time period, which was just like little loss, gain, little loss, little loss, little gain. Like it was this whole thing. And then finally like a dip. And then the next week I lost another 2.8, which I think is hilarious. It was 2 weeks in a row. I lost 2.8. And I was like, almost like, I don't know. There's something about that was almost like, oh, you're kind of like telling me something. I don't know, but it was just funny. It was like the same exact amount. And then so like weight had started to actually start finally coming off. It's like, watch Joel Osteen, you'll lose weight. I don't know. That's not what I'm saying. It's like just trusting, and stopping being stressed about it, maybe too, releasing stress, because stress is definitely something that helps you or really makes you hold on to weight. But now I'm actually on less than 1 pound away because I've been cheating. I've been weighing early, but like I've been weighing like every single day this week. I don't know. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of everything I've been doing, but I've been doing a little bit more this week, a little bit of an extra effort. And yesterday I was exactly 300. And then today I was 300.2. And I was like, oh. But I understand, like, you shouldn't really weigh every day because it fluctuates. But my birthday is in 2 days. And my prayer and my request is to I don't want to be 300 pounds on my birthday. I just don't. Like, I'm so ready to leave that behind. This is why I don't want to talk about this. I don't ever want to be 300 pounds again. And I guess it's like important to come out. Like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to share this video. If I post this video, it's because it was for you, not for me, because I don't want to do this. This is like, it feels like torture, honestly. I don't want to talk about it. Ugh. Anyway, it is really interesting because it's like, again, it is literally the most obvious thing about me, my size, but it is like the most deeply personal thing to me as well. Like, it's my own, this is the thing that makes me angry too. It's like my own very personal, very private struggle that just everyone can see. Everyone can see it. And like, it's very frustrating too, to live in this world and to feel like if oh gosh, I'm trying to decide if I should say certain things or not. It's like, okay, I will. But like, if I were anorexic, boy, the sympathy and the help and the support, that I would receive, probably. Because I think that people are more comfortable with people who are thin than people who are overweight. And it's like, or yeah, like the what I have dealt with my whole life, that my highest weight actually was 352.2 pounds. So I've been up there. And now, thank God, I'm still, not that high. I know I'll never be that heavy again, but now I want to draw this line in the sand that I'm never going to be 300 pounds again. Anyway, this is important. But it's like, how is it not an eating disorder? And people talk about it like it's just willpower, and it's not. It is not only willpower. It is a corrupt food system. It's adulterated, highly processed foods that have high pleasure responses in the brain. There have been studies that have shown that sugar is just as addictive as crack, like crack cocaine. You can get just as quickly addicted and strongly addicted to it. So for me, veganism, gosh, that's another whole thing. Like veganism, I'm angry. Okay, so like my son had a procedure done this morning at Phoenix Children's Hospital, and everything's fine, by the way. But afterwards, it's like, okay, honey, you want to go get a little treat? And I do. I want to treat them every now and then. For the most part, we just don't keep this stuff in the house. And it's mainly because I can't control myself, and I know that. So it doesn't come in our house. Like we don't even have chips in our house. If we want something sweet, then, we blend dates up into something and have like a yummy, yummy sweet thing like that. But there's no cupcakes or anything like that. And he wanted a little cupcake from Whole Foods. And so we went because Whole Foods has some vegan things. But it's like every time I go back, there's more and more options to where now I'm beginning to almost stress out that there are so many options that are so easily available to me of junk food, whether it's at, a fast food restaurant or in Whole Foods. Now there are vegan donuts and vegan brownie bites and vegan cupcakes and vegan this, vegan that, and now I hope I'm not like enabling anybody by saying that. But it's very frustrating to me. Excuse me. It's not Roni. I was crying. Okay. As the kids, they're calling it Roni. I just thought that was so funny. It's like macaroni, roast-a-roni. Anyway, sorry. And yeah, hold on. That there are so many options now, like easily accessible options that are junky. And it's like, I've only been vegan for 3 years. And to see the exponential increase of access to nasty junk foods, it makes me angry. I am so angry about that. It's like rage inducing to me. I understand that it kind of helps people transition, but this was about health at first for me. So really it was more about plant-based. So I was plant-based at first, and then later I went full on vegan. So if y'all don't understand, like, you're called plant-based if you're doing it for your health, and vegan if you're doing it for, moral reasons. Which is for me at this point, yeah, it is a moral choice. So it's just anger inducing to me that now the food industry has figured out that they can make money off of vegans, and they're putting that same kind of addictive junk into our reach. And I don't know, it's just really sad to me. It's the state of the food industry. And so ultimately, people have a choice, of course, but when you have somebody who has an addiction to these foods, it's so difficult to stop. It's like an alcoholic who literally lives and works in a bar is really what I have felt like. If I have to say what it feels like, that's what it feels like. And then people say, oh, just moderation. And it's like, yeah, moderation doesn't work for me. I'm kind of extreme in like every area of my life. I'm a little extreme. I can't do moderation. I literally can't. I have one bite of a thing that tastes yummy and I want all of it. Like I want to eat the whole cake. And is it like a lack of willpower? But at the same time, I don't think I have a lack of willpower because I'm able to say, not in my house. It's not coming through those doors. We don't have, so like my house is a safe place for me. But like going out into the world, I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I'm going off. Like this is going to be really long. I need to go ahead and cut this off. But I don't know, especially, I am going to share this. I don't know who's going to watch it. And I don't know even what my point was. It's just, this is important. And especially like as a prepper. Like, are you prepping for the end of the world, but not making plans for like tomorrow? Don't you want to live a good life until that happens? And then if something should happen, to be more physically capable. So like there's scenarios that I have thought of, like if some sort of horrible thing happened and it was like pure chaos and anarchy, like my husband and I we're learning and researching desert survival skills now, and getting equipment together so that if for whatever reason some eventuality happens where we had to bug out. Like it became safer for us to bug out than bug in, which is a whole other conversation. Most people definitely recommend bugging in for as long as possible, and I would tend to agree with that. But again, we're in the middle of the city in the suburbs, but thankfully we are relatively close to like desert. So we might have to hoof it into the desert. And if you know, some awful thing went down, and learn how to survive, you know. And you know, we actually have been learning a lot about how to survive out there, which I guess we could try to talk about. Arizona Bushman is a YouTube channel that's great if you live here and you want some of that information, like which plants you can eat and all of that. But what's my point? Bugging out. I'm 300 pounds. How long am I going to be able to hike? How long am I going to be able to last? There was like a nightmare thing, and I know it's like a crazy thing, but you know how like sometimes your brain goes to like sudden like disaster mind and you start thinking of like the worst possible thing that could happen. And that's basically what I did. And I was thinking of this idea of having to go out in the desert or whatever, but what if we got to some point where like I couldn't make it, I couldn't climb something, or I couldn't go across, or there was some little tiny crevice that I couldn't fit through, or something. And my family then would be faced with, do they survive and leave me behind? Or do I hold them up and possibly kill my whole family because I'm not capable of doing something that needs to be done for us to survive in some crazy situation? And I know that's crazy, but it's just like these thoughts now too, like it makes me extremely motivated to be more fit. And like I said, I'm not trying to fit into some dress. I'm not trying to fit into some cute outfit. I'm trying to fit into the life that I want for myself. I want to fit into being able to be physically active and hike and run and jump and climb if I need to, and all of those things, because I want to be as physically strong and capable as I am emotionally and spiritually. Because honestly, I feel like if my body matched my soul, I'd be like ripped, like mega, like muscle woman chick, you know. I really do. And that's again not about being proud or prideful or snobby, but I've had to do a lot of internal work through my life. I've done a lot of that, and I really have gotten to a point where I can look at myself and say, you've come a long way. Not that I still don't have a long way to go in a lot of ways, but I've gotten to the point too where I'm just not willing. I'm not willing to stay where I am. And even after 4 months of being unable to lose weight, I was still every single day making good choices and doing everything that I could, making those appointments, going to the doctor, even though I hate the doctor, and doing all of that stuff because I have this new fire lit under me that I'm not going to stay the way that I was before. And I've got that passion and that drive to move forward. And I know that no matter what happens, even if my birthday happens and I'm still 300 pounds, you know what? Doesn't matter, because my next birthday, I won't be. And my goal and my dream, because my birthday this year, I'm turning 37, is that by the age of 40, I hope to be unrecognizable physically. So that's my goal. Anyway, I don't know if any of that was helpful at all. How can we not talk about health? And it is a serious thing. And even that, like, I don't know. It's like, there's almost like a chauvinist overtone to it too. Sorry. I shouldn't, like, this is like, I'm just dipping my toe in the water, and there's one stupid comment I can't stop thinking about. So anyway, I don't know if it's wise to address trolls or not. I'm not. And again, I don't know if that's really a troll. I don't know. I'm not, like I said, I like to think the best of everybody. Maybe they were just kind of cracking a joke. I don't know. Hopefully that's what it was. But it was kind of like, just in case they're not, I feel like, gosh, you know, and poor women, right? This society and the way that it's set up, it's like it's set up for failure. And then like everything that it is, with all the food, the toxic media and toxic everything. And then it's like it sets you up to be like so screwed up and so messed up inside. And then when, you know, God forbid if it shows up on your hips, then they're like, you failure, you fatty, you have no self-control, you have none of this, you have none of that. It's like, it's just disgusting. I hate that. It's so disgusting. It's like they'll do everything they can to make you fail, and then when you fail, it's like, oh, loser, you know? Oh man, that pisses me off. That's like, oh gosh. Okay, anyway, that's it. So yes, like I said, did not want to make this video, but now at this point, and it's very long, I can't make videos like this. I know nobody's gonna watch them. But I guess for like the 1 or 2 people that watch, if you connect, you want to ask questions, talk about anything. I don't have an audience yet, right? So I will talk to you in the comments. We can have a back and forth. We can chat, you know, and that's great. I love that idea. So if you are, you know, looking for some support, or just want to say hi, or if you have questions now, if anything that I said sparked like a question in you, because I know sometimes I trail off and then I don't finish my thoughts. I know I do that, like when I just sort of do stream of consciousness type videos that are completely unplanned, unscripted, not even outlined. So yeah, okay, that was it. But now I think at this point we're best friends. Like you got through that, we talked about this, we are just like, we're like together now, you and me. So I love that idea. And if it can be helpful or supportive to anyone, fine. And the other thing is I don't want to talk about it because there's that thing in that voice in my head that says, well, now what if I don't, what if I screw up? What if I don't ever lose weight? And that's the thing, the voice that keeps like hounding me. It's like, you can't talk about it because if you let people know you're trying and then you fail, everybody sees you fail. And it's like, what if I fall, right? But then, no, what if you fly, right? That's another quote. I'm gonna cry again. I'm a sap, okay? I'm not even pregnant. I'm not pregnant. I'm not going to ever be pregnant again. But yeah, anyway. I'm a sap. So I need Mr. Vegan Prepper on here again to sort of keep me on track. And you know, he is basically the only person on earth that I can comfortably discuss these things with, because he's like, you know, my person. And we can talk about anything. And he has seen more than anyone else the struggles, and he has also seen a lot of the background and a lot of that stuff. It's like inherited weight, right? Like I have my family kind of going back is overweight and things like that. I grew up in Texas. Oh my gosh. There's like 20 pies on the table and like everyone's getting multiple slices, but like I get one slice and go back for another slice. Ooh, are you sure you should be eating that? Crap like that, like torture crap like that. Like in my background, I don't think anybody was intending to be cruel, but just stuff like that. So you see like that, just that one example, and there were so many of like the relationship with food and the shame and the hidden eating and the, you know, like, anyway, stuff like that. So yeah. Anyway, it's a real thing and people have real issues surrounding it, and it is not only about a willpower issue. And then there can also be medical stuff going on. So anyway, okay, for real. Oh man, yeah, I'm so sorry. But thank you if you're still here. If you watched the whole thing, just like let me know. Just quick. We don't have to have a long conversation, but just be like, I watched it all. You know, let me know, because I'm very curious if anyone even watched the whole thing. So, all right, okay, that's it. And if you want more videos like this, you want to ask me about anything, that's fine. I'd love to. All right, I already said all that. Okay, that's it. All right, as always, I hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. For a shorter video, I swear.